What would life be like if you were a Crusader living in the Kingdom of Jerusalem? A new city is being built. But who are the builders? And how do you get from Europe to the Holy Land? What is daily life like for a Crusader? They came up the hill from the Jaffa Gate into the heart of the city and approached the church complex. The men were mostly European. Some wore the traditional long robes of pilgrims, while others wore more practical clothing for the journey. Amongst them were some women and children. They all carried staffs and sacks, and some had sick or elderly people on their way to the church, carried in litters by servants. The Republic was happy to supply ships for the pilgrimage, because the Venetians made money either way. Ships from the Levant and North Africa crowded the harbor. It's bigger now, with new buildings and streets laid out in a grid pattern, forming four quarters around the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Another thing we notice about the city is that it's surrounded by tall walls. Built during the reign of King Baldwin III, these massive walls kept the city safe from attack, or at least they had until Saladin's forces arrived. That's probably why there aren't many people out in the streets at night. We know that the Muslims are gathering for their midday prayer, and we must be careful. Even children are present, learning the ways of knighthood from their fathers. The curfew bell tolls, calling everyone inside the city walls to their homes. The streets are dark and narrow, lit only by the light of the moon and stars. We can hear the distant hum of activity from the Muslim camp to the south, and we know that we are in danger. We hurry back to our inn, hoping that we can sleep soundly before we must flee. We eat dinner with other travelers from across Europe. We share stories of our homelands and compare customs and traditions. There's talk of the great deeds done by the Crusaders, as well as rumors of the massive Muslim army gathering in the south. Soon it seems Jerusalem will be under siege. Today, though, there is no battle. Most days, the knights patrol the walls, watching for any sign of the enemy. Sometimes they clash with Muslim forces outside the city gates, but most of the time, they simply stand guard. When they come back, the pilgrims will likely be safe in the church, but we should probably stay in the confines of our quarters. As the sun reaches its zenith, the noise of hammers and saws echoes across the city. Work crews are building more walls around the city, and more people are needed to help construct them. Every man, woman, and child is ordered to get up and put on their best armor. The city is under attack, and we must defend it or flee. We grab whatever weapons we can and run to the top of the city wall. Below us, the Muslims attack the gate, trying to batter it down. We see soldiers rushing to man the defenses, and we hurry to join them. We might earn a few coins by joining them for the afternoon, or we can continue exploring the city. We hear that the Muslims are planning to recapture the city, and we'll need to be careful when we leave our inn to attend Mass tomorrow morning. We'll need to visit there soon, but first, let's head to the market to see what kinds of goods we can buy. We'll need to hurry, though, as Mass begins at the break of dawn. We slip out of the inn unnoticed and make our way to the church. The streets are empty, but we know that we're not alone. We see cloisters and friars on our way to the church, and some European nobles are also walking about the city, perhaps making preparations for the coming siege. We pass by bakers, blacksmiths, and weavers. We can get freshly baked bread or a new sword here, and maybe a colorful new tunic as well. Pilgrims from across Europe have made the journey to Jerusalem, and many are here today to worship. We join them in prayer as we remember Christ's sacrifice. After Mass, we stroll through the bazaar, taking in the sights and sounds of the city. We watch artisans working at their trades and listen to traveling minstrels singing songs of distant lands. All around us, people are going about their daily lives, and we feel a sense of normalcy return to the city. It's hot and smelly in the market, and we're glad to escape to the relative quiet of our inn. Barges full of merchandise from Asia and Africa had arrived recently, and merchants bustled about looking for buyers. Dhows from the Persian Gulf lined up along the docks, having brought silk, spices, and jewels. Here, too, were boats from France and Italy, carrying pilgrims to the Holy Land. In the marketplace, the sights and sounds of many different cultures commingled. Merchants called out the virtues of their wares in languages that sounded strange to our ears. People from many lands passed by: Arabs, Armenians, Greeks, and even a few Europeans. The ships carried pilgrims to the Holy Land and back. And if the Muslim rulers seized the ships on the way over, well, that was just good business. After all, Venice had been supplying ships for the First Crusade, too. The trip took about a week to get to Sicily, where we would drop anchor near the port of Syracuse. From here, it was a 3-day walk to the coast of modern Israel. We crossed the island of Malta and then head north along the coast until we reach Jaffa, where we will board new ships that will take us to the coast of modern Lebanon. The sea voyage might only take 2 weeks, but we spent another month getting to Jerusalem. As they entered the city, they had to pay a tax to enter. This was collected by Muslim officials, but right now, there weren't any around. The gateway was unguarded. In fact, it had been about 2 months since the Muslims had captured Jerusalem. And what kind of threat do these holy warriors face? Were they safe to enter? Should they turn back? Many Europeans had converted to Islam after Godfrey of Bouillon captured Jerusalem in 1099 and established the Kingdom of Jerusalem. At the very least, they could still visit the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. But most of those who flocked to the Holy Land were European Christians, eager to see the places connected with Jesus Christ, especially the church that marked his crucifixion and resurrection. Although they were shocked at the city's capture, many still chose to enter Jerusalem. Worst-case scenario, they'd have to flee to the port city of Jaffa, where ships were waiting to take them back to Europe. To answer these questions, let's travel back to 1187 in the Kingdom of Jerusalem. You can find them in the same place, but it's not so easy to get here. There is no airport and no road connecting Europe and the Middle East. So let us imagine we re in Venice. In 1187, we VA just finished building our boat for the voyage to the Holy Land. It was a typical Mediterranean sailing vessel, with square rigging and lateen sails. It is propelled by the wind in the sail, but when the wind isn't cooperating, we use oars to keep us on course. Our ship is one of many that set sail from northern Italian ports, or perhaps from the southern French coast. In June of that year, Christian pilgrims made their way to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. The pilgrims looked at each other in concern. But wait, why is this place so familiar? As we left, we joined up with a convoy of ships, all sailing under the flag of the Republic of Venice. When we arrived, we found a busy port city. We've made it to Jerusalem, but the city has changed since our pilgrim friends visited. We're exhausted from the journey, so it's good to rest before visiting the Church of the Holy Sepulchre tomorrow. As the sun rises, we get ready to go to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre is a riot of activity. But that normalcy is shattered when the call to prayer rings out from the minarets of the mosques. As we walk past the palace, we see knights readying themselves for battle. They polish their armor and sharpen their weapons. Later, when the sky begins to glow with the colors of sunset, we return to our inn. We don't know how long we'll be able to stay here, so we decide to take a last walk through the city. We wake in the middle of the night to the sound of trumpets. Someone is scaling the city walls. If you enjoyed this video, then leave us a like and subscribe. And if you are interested in more videos, then leave a comment telling us what in history interests you the most.